Hey buddy, watch this.
Hello, Regis Kilbin is the name, and Hearthstone is the game, and this is a deck spotlight on a new One Night in Karazhan discard Sjow Warlock created by the professional player Sjow. So this one, of course, is very familiar if you've at all seen Sjow Warlock, which you probably have as a Hearthstone player over the last few years. It's a very common archetype that has been in the meta seemingly since the history of the world. And this deck really just changes a few things to move Sjow into the One Night in Karazhan era. And that is specifically accomplished with a handful of discard synergy cards, as the name suggests, namely the Silverware Golem, this 3-mana 3/3 that anytime you discard this card itself, it actually plays the card for free. So it's like a 3-mana injection onto the board at 0 cost. You've also got the Malchezaar's Imp, new from Karazhan, that whenever you discard a card and this card, Malchezaar's Imp, is on the board, you also draw a card. So a little bit of a hand refill with Malchezaar's Imp, a very big tempo play with the Silverware Golem. You've also got an older card in this list from Whispers of the Old Gods. Shouldn't call it old just yet, it's just a few months old. But not from One Night in Karazhan, but another discard synergy card that is able to find a spot in the meta thanks to this kind of deck, whereas before this card wasn't seeing play. And this one has a battle cry, of course. It actually discards a card to help you activate those Malchezaar's Imps and those Silverware Golems, but without really punishing the size of your hand, because when this dies, of course, it draws another card for you, so it helps you refill your hand even faster. So these are the three kind of discard synergy cards, and the great thing about these cards is not only do they do some cool stuff, but they really enable two important cards that you've always kind of either ran in Sjow begrudgingly or wanted to run in Sjow and had to cut, and that is Soulfire and Doomguard, right? Now, most Sjow lists have always made room for these despite the discard downfall. It's just something you kind of dealt with. You hope to hit Doomguard on an empty hand so that you don't have to go through the discard effect. But now, when there are cards that actually not only negate the discard to some extent, but also actually empower the discard, like discarding a Silverware Golem is an amazing play. For 5 mana, playing a Doomguard and getting a 3/3 as well is just ridiculous. So it doesn't only just mitigate the downsides of the discard, it actually makes the discard a positive effect. So it's a pretty powerful swing turn in those scenarios. Soulfire also accomplishes this. And then around that discard synergy set, you just got all the normal Sjow stuff. Super consistent curve, very good at board presence and refilling the board if it does get destroyed. Very difficult for opponents to deal with. Just really the ultimate consistency ladder deck. But now, with some added power pieces in both a 1-mana 4 damage spell, but also in a 5-mana 5/7 charger, each of which are ridiculous and don't even get punished anymore. They actually get empowered. So, pretty interesting list. Now, I will note that a lot of people are probably thinking, where is Fist of Jaraxxus, right? Where is, what's the other discard card? Succubus, right? Where are these discard cards? These clearly have discard synergies. Why aren't they being run in Sjow's list? Now, I don't want to speak for Sjow too much, but I think it's that you don't necessarily need them, right? Oh, there's also Tiny Knight of Evil as a discard card. But you don't really need them. Sjow is a good base archetype. The first 20 to 25 cards of Sjow are so set in stone these days and so outright good, and we've defined that and we understand it and we know it, that just slotting in those extra 5 to 7 cards that help kind of define the direction of your deck. Sometimes it's Sea Giants, right? Sometimes it's Gormok. There's all kinds of little pieces you can essentially tech in to the foundational Sjow list, and in this case, it's just a few extra discard cards. So, you know, you could make room for a Fist of Jaraxxus, but do you need to, or would you rather just run a really good Sjow deck that you made a little bit better? Or would you rather try to build something entirely new that may or may not work? Because remember, you'd have to make room for 6 more cards to fit all of these extra discard cards into the list. And what do you cut, right? Maybe you cut a Direwolf Alpha. Maybe you go for the Knife Jugglers. I don't know, though. That throws off your curve. That makes the deck less powerful and consistent. So it's just a risk, and I think Sjow realized that having a zoo list that's, having a discard zoo list that's pretty tempered, right? It's not all in on discard, makes more sense than trying really hard to build a deck, because he knows he's got something good and he's just complementing it. So, all that said, and I think I said quite a bit about the discard zoo Warlock by Sjow, let's go ahead and take it out onto the ranked ladder to see it in action. I probably won't be playing too long with this deck, simply because we've all seen Zoo a bajillion times. I'll make a bajillion more Zoo Warlock videos before my life is over. So it's not always rewarding to spend an hour playing a deck that we're all pretty familiar with. That said, I'm going to try to get a few games in and discuss what we can and learn what we can and see what insights there are in this deck. I will say that there are some extra complications, right? Because of the discard effect, the order you play things in can change. What you keep in your hand and mulligan for can change. But we'll just have to see as we go. So right now we just want curve above everything else. The Possessed Villagers is fine. One drop. We're looking for like 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe multiple ones. We don't have the coin, but this is fine. We can certainly make this work. Don't know yet what kind of druid this is. I'll probably play the Direwolf on 2. It's really not the best thing to do, unless he plays a 2 health minion. 3 health minion actually makes it even worse, to some extent. The Voidwalker is also just awkward. Our turn 3 is going to be awkward too. We just have a very awkward hand right now. It's quite unfortunate. Let's see. If we Voidwalker, he trades and hero powers. This is a 2 health minion. We can play the Direwolf down. It's not ideal, but I don't want to throw the Direwolf out to just die to the trade. That seems pretty poor. We'd be able to kill it back with the remaining half of our Possessed Villager after it got hero powered, but then we wouldn't have a board to build on. This makes it more likely to have minions alive. This might also deny him playing a 2-mana minion if he wants to, like if he has another Beckoner. He wants to hero power this down right now. If he doesn't hero power it down, then we get to punish with the Direwolf. So there's advantages both ways, right? So we'll clearly play the Direwolf here in trade. He might have Wrath, but that's off curve, so might have Living Roots, but I doubt it in a deck like this. We could just Darkshire, but no, I think we'll go ahead and Direwolf. We floated a mana 2 straight turns, which is the last thing you want to do on Zoo. You want maximum mana efficiency. Disciple of Cthulhu, I didn't think about that. That's better than Wrath, obviously. Alright, well that's actually a good draw. We get to build a pretty nice little board here. This is going to be tough for him to deal with on an empty board. He wants to play Cthulhu's Chosen, probably, or perhaps Klaxi. Cthulhu Druid, man, I haven't seen one of these in a while. I like it. It's I don't know that it got any better with One Night in Karazhan, though. So maybe he had a Druid quest. He's busting out an old Druid deck. So we could Forbidden Ritual here for a just ridiculous board, but Swipe eats us alive. Actually doesn't kill our Councilman, though. He couldn't even Swipe Wrath without an Innervate. Maybe that's not the worst idea ever. I think I don't want to, though. I think I'd rather play my normal minions, let him deal with the board, and then there's the Wrath. Double Wrath? No, Wrath, Innervate, Swipe. Huh, so we can Forbidden Ritual, probably. Did he top deck both the Innervate and the Swipe, by the way? I wasn't actually watching. If he top decked the Innervate and the Swipe off the Wrath, Oh, I feel like they both came off this side of the hand, but I wasn't watching that closely. Jeez. Good stuff, if so. Okay, so we got some of these pieces together finally. I think I'll just Defender here and try to slow down this Klaxi. I mean, just start going face, right? That fills my board up, though. But these are both discard cards, so I'm going to tap probably just Defender. I don't really want to kill that, right? Just because I don't have an efficient way to do it right now. So instead, I'm just going to go face with literally everything. Because otherwise, I'd have to trade in my whole board. I don't even know if I have enough, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't even have enough. So there's no way I'm trading. We just kind of hope this stuff sticks and he doesn't have good removal. Second swipe. He actually had the second swipe. Man. Both swipes in the top 10. This guy knows how to beat Sjow. That's for sure. He's a good Sjow contester. Okay, so Soulfire we can work with. The question is do we Soulfire face or we clear this minion? Do we Soulfire face or we clear the minion? We can put him at 12. This minion only trades into one guy at a time, right? Both swipes are gone. I think I start going face. He doesn't have any AoE removal. Taunts are scary. Like Twin Emperor Veclor could come down. I'll wish I had the swipe then. But I don't really see an incentive to killing this. He's not going to taunt it up. Guys, I think I'm going face. Believe it or not. And we have to life tap last because I want to make sure that that gets played for sure. Actually, let's. Yeah, we're gonna lose our other librarian, I guess. I should have played this before tapping. I got caught up in the rope. I'm sorry, that was actually a misplay. We should have played the librarian before tapping. I wasn't sure I was gonna play it right. I might have played whatever the other card was, but instead we ended up wasting a card because I forgot about the draw here too. It's a good turn. I'm gonna be able to kill this, but it's gonna hurt a little bit. Let's open with a tap. Defender, does he change that? Yeah, we can Defender the Imp. No, we can Defender the Flame Imp. This goes to 4 if we Defender it. We can trade it in to draw a card. The problem, right, is doing the other 3. I guess we just use the Silverware Golem. And then taunt up the Abusive Sergeant to go face. This math is fine. Would we rather taunt up a Flame Imp? I don't think so, because he's going to kill it, so... this gets the damage out faster and protects the slightly higher value minion. Alright, so we're not in a bad spot again. Just keep loading up minions. Druid has trouble with that. That's really their biggest weakness. So this could be a 4-3 taunt, right? But he'd still be able to just kill it. Well, take that back. That was a good turn from him. Jeez. Let's open with this first. See what card it gives us. Power Overwhelming has to be the best option, yeah. Far and away. We'll life tap next. Councilman, no. Okay. Oh god, I almost misclicked. I'd much rather put it here. But clearly that needs to be answered. We don't have a swipe, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and clear this. Play my Imp King Boss. He'll get to trade here, but that gives me another minion. And I know he doesn't have a swipe, so summoning me a 1/1 is not too bad. I'm very scared about Cthulhu soon, though, so we need to find the pieces to win. We've got 2 Doom Guards, we've got another Soulfire. We're going to have damage if we just draw it, right? We have a 3 out of 11 to get. Big damage. We've also got like another Abusive Sergeant. I think we're out of Defenders, but So he's clearly not got a lot to do, I don't think. Twin Emperor Veclor would be very destructive to us. The problem with big guys like this, I mean, even though it's not really a big investment, is that they can only trade into 1 minion per turn, and Sjow tends to play more than that per turn, right? Are we seeing a concede here? I think we're seeing a concede. We actually don't have lethal still. It's kind of scary. This certainly could give us lethal. No, but it gave me a minion that's good. So let's tap for lethal. I know we could have played the Councilman first, right? But you can also draw into lethal, so want to save the mana. Make sure we have enough mana for stuff like that, or the power overwhelming, or anything we draw, right? So it wasn't about building a big board of minions at that point. It was about winning the game. So okay, so maybe not the smoothest game I've ever played, but a win nonetheless. We battered the removal storm and just did Sjow stuff, which is draw cards and refill your hand. And we had a big turn with the Silverware Golem. It wasn't like amazing because he had stuff on board, but it was able to attack and clear through that Dark Arakoa, which certainly made the difference. The game could have taken a turn very far south. So we don't want any of this junk. We need 1-drops for sure. Even the 2-drops too slow. There's a chance our hand gets worse, but there's a very high chance we get a playable curve, which is exactly what this is. In fact, this is a 1, a 2, and a 3, theoretically. The problem with some of these discard cards, right, like this right now, is a card I don't really want to play on 2. It's kind of a dead card, which is a scary thing to have in Sjow. That's another reason you just don't want to run too many discard synergy cards, because you don't want dead stuff in your hand. You have to be able to play minions. So, what do we want here? I guess we want the power overwhelming almost always. Voidwalker's not bad, but it's pretty weak against Shaman. They have a lot of stuff that can just kill it. Rockbiters, so on and so forth. And we might need a power overwhelming to kill a Flame Wreath Faceless or something, or just push for damage. So it's got the most utility of all the choices there. The Secret Keeper clearly was not the choice. Not exactly a secret deck here, are we? Alright, so this looks like Juggler or Voidwalker. Lightning Storm's kind of scary, clearly. Maybe we Juggler Possessed Villager instead. Or maybe we just life tap Voidwalker. A pretty nasty board. He can coin the Flame Wreath next turn. It's might be what he's thinking about doing. If he Lightning Storms, though, we're just left with, you know, 2 1/1s. It's really not so bad. His turn 4 would have virtually 0 mana. He'd be able to coin a 3-drop on turn 4. So he could get out like Ferals, which would be bad against 2 1/1s. I don't really want to discard a card yet, because I don't have even a chance to hit, so. We'll see. We're going to take a shot. It's probably going to get Lightning Stormed. It's worth a shot, though. The Juggler is exposed, I realize, by not playing the Voidwalker, but there are other times Voidwalker can be good. That's a great draw. That's a really good draw. Put the big stuff on the outside, the little stuff on the inside for things like Direwolf Alpha to facilitate trading up. So we'll see the coin wolves here, I'm sure, because I call everything always. No, Totem. Oh, that's so slow. So slow. Yeah, we have to do this. We're going to lose some pretty good cards. I can't play this and risk discarding the Doomguard, right? So We have to go ahead and do this. So now he needs like a Hex. But he's got two scary threats on the board right now. So unless he's running Elemental Destruction Lightning Bolt and it rolls high on 1, he might be in trouble. Sitting on such a big hand. He's going to play a thing from below here. And probably something else. No. Oh, he's only gotten it down to 3. Oh, goodness. He's in a bad spot. So we'll life tap to see what we get. Do we want to go ahead and Direwolf instead of Darkshire? I don't think so. This Darkshire, we're going to trade in the Doomguard anyway, right? The Direwolf doesn't facilitate a clean trade here. So the Doomguard has to go in, which means I could just play another threat, and it does more or less the same amount of damage. I mean, we could trade here. This plays around Rockbiter a little bit, but this actually plays around Lightning Storm slightly better. We've seen 1 Lightning Storm, but this is at 2. If I put this at 2, it's like 3 minions are going to die. And I need a little bit of board space, honestly, perhaps 2. Well, let's see, we have 5. This would be 6. Our card would be 7. Yeah, I'm going to actually do it this way. It's perhaps a little weird to see, but I think it's right. This living could be very, very valuable. He's looking for the Lightning Storm. That's Lightning Storm. Yeah, I made the right call. I might still roll high, but no, it worked out. Cool. Baller. I think we're gonna have coin something. Coin thing from below. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, that's 5 mana. Let's life tap to see what we get. Yeah, there's gonna be some weird rolls here. I think to maximize my damage, I want to just go ahead and trade this in while we know it's at 5. And then this might waste some damage if the knife hits the totem, but we'll see. Nope. Good knife. Good knife. So now I don't know what he has. This deck, he's so slow. He might actually be like a taunt, or like a bog creeper shaman or something. It's got a lot of removal, it feels like. Okay, so we can for sure clear the board, and now we're gonna have probably quite close to lethal. Let's life tap first. Just Doomguard just gives me guaranteed lethal on board, so we'll just go ahead and take that. There was gonna be some math to do. This is much easier to do. Why did the totem was spawning? I was wondering why the Doomguard was not centered. That was a cool animation. I've seen it before, but I didn't realize how cool it was because it was in slow motion there, kind of during the wind screen. That was neat. A lot of forks spinning around in purple goo turning into the silverware golem. Alright, so another win. That one was much cleaner, I'd say. Alrighty, another Warlock. I'm actually gonna send back the juggler, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's keep it and see what happens. I don't know what kind of deck we're going to be against, but there's a potential this is good against Sjow. We hit a big knife. It's bad against, it's bad against... I could almost coin this out now. I was going to say it's bad against the Imp King boss, but can be really good against 1 health stuff. If I coin this out right now, what are the chances he kills it, right? Let's do a thought experiment. He has Abusive Sergeant, kills it. Mortal Coil, if he's running that, kills it. He's probably going to play Dark Peddler on 2, though. Or his own Juggler. That doesn't kill it. But does it really advantage me to get it out? I could play 2 guys next turn. Can also just play these guys now. The problem with playing these guys now is that I don't have an active way to make these trade up. I don't have an Abusive Sergeant or Direwolf Alpha. So they're kind of just going to go out there and die to this Voidwalker. I still think it's the technically correct play. Do we just coin out the Darkshire Librarian? Because she trades better. Maybe we just do this. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Well, we lost arguably the best card, so that's sad. Maybe Forbidden Ritual would have been worse to lose. Can be very good. Oh, so it was the Dark Peddler. Probably. We don't know. There could still be an Abusive Sergeant up there, right? But this trade's fine regardless, so this is going to get us some value. And the Voidwalker will protect it as a 1 health minion as well, so. Malchezaar's Imp. That's intriguing. I don't think I play it yet. I don't have a discard effect, so if I leave it for later and kind of keep it alive, right, it might potentially get value. If I play it out right now and it just dies to the board inadvertently, it may not do anything for me, so I have another 1-drop. If I didn't have another 1-drop, I would have played it just for curve considerations, of course. But since we had a way to fill the mana, there was really no incentive to getting the Malchezaar's Imp out. It's a funny looking imp. I like him. He's pretty cool. Okay, so we can actually kill that. Oh, we can really kill it now. We're going to lose the Forbidden Ritual, though. I don't think it matters. We're going to draw a new card anyway and have a pretty good board against Sjow, which has trouble with a lot of low health stuff. You can't cast this first, right? The Soulfire used to cost 0 mana, so you could have. But now you have to do this this first, you'll be out of mana. So we're going to float 1 mana here, but be alright. Oh, we could have gotten a 1-drop. It would have been sick. I'm going to go ahead and kill both of these, even though I lose my taunt, but gives me the full board. Minions against Sjow are what you want to get rid of. You have to kill every minion every turn if you can, any way imaginable. You know, don't underestimate. A 1-3, first off, is pretty good in Sjow because it trades up really well with Abusive Sergeants and everything else. But also drawing a card is just really valuable in Sjow. Ooh. Alright, so let's see. What do we do here? I guess we draw first. I'm not going to be able to kill this, probably, unless I get, like, an Abusive Sergeant. Oh my god. The dream. So yeah, we can't kill that. I'm not going to trade stuff into it for no reason, no gain. He might like Power Overwhelming here and trade. Or Doomguard himself. Oh, thank god he didn't get anything out of it, though. So he'll trade here, clearly. Oh, he did get a lot out of it, card draw, but not tempo, which is what I'm mostly concerned about. We can kill his Doomguard and play a Silver Golem, which is pretty sick. This is going to live, but... oh, god. Almost. So hopefully this Doomguard lives. I doubt it. The problem is his hand is ginormo. We both drew 2 cards off the Malchezaar's, but he seems to have gotten more value out of his play so far. The first Doomguard is the best Doomguard. Immortal Coil? Oh, that's brutal. It's really brutal. Okay, I can actually play my whole hand. That's pretty cool. We have to kill that guy. Defending this really won't help much. Oh, it will. I'm killing the this too. So yes, of course it will help. All right, that's actually a good board. That's really going to be tough for him to deal with. Again, he has cards, but we have 9 damage on board, so... oh, no! Not Forbidden Ritual! No! That's like the best answer. No! If he clears 2 minions... oh, okay, I think one's going to win. It's good. It's actually still bad, but... I guess we need to play this first. Probably. There's a chance we miss out on like a Silver Golem for free. But 99% of the time you need to play that first. Okay. This sucks. Sort of. I gotta go face, right? There's no way I can trade this into a 1-1. They're gonna trade in anyway. Direwolf Alpha punishes it very slightly, but not even that, really. We're losing, though, because we're just out of cards. That's a good answer. Jeez. Jugular Forbidden Ritual, sick. Oh my god. We're in trouble now. We're in trouble now, boys. Let's see. He cannot clear my board. Oh, yeah, now he can. I have no answer to this. I don't think I could beat it. Just no answer to that. It's just going to run me over eventually. My own Forbidden Ritual would be sort of good. That just facilitates my doom a little faster. Yeah, we're deadzo, boys. We're donezo. He's got more power plays like this. We're more of a tempo zoo, right? Like we want to get big tempo out of that Silverware Golem. His is more of a, I don't know, value or almost late game zoo in a way with Sea Giants. And some tech stuff too with the Crazed Alchemist. That's weird. This was very popular when, oh god, are we just dead? Yeah, we're dead. Very popular when Doomsayers were out, but Doomsayers aren't out as often, so I'm surprised that's still in his deck. Yeah, that was tough. I'm not sure where we lost. Where did we lose? I guess the Knife Juggler Forbidden Ritual is where we lost that. Yeah, I don't think there was another turn we really lost. He had a good turn with his Doom Guard, drawing so many cards. But we actually had the same turn. We were just behind in hand a little bit. So that was actually a tough one to lose. I'm a little bit sad. He found good answers over and over again. And that's a tough thing to do as Zoo when you're behind. So well drawn and well played, I would say. It's a tough loss. But that's actually going to wrap it up for me in the Discard Zoo by Sjow. Really cool little deck. I like it. It's mostly just Zoo, as I mentioned, you know, but Malchezaar's Imp seems pretty good. You saw the value a couple times from our hand, but in that last game in particular, that other guy had such a big hand because of his Malchezaar's Imp. So getting resources is, of course, valuable. And, you know, you always have life taps to draw cards, but the downsides, most people think, oh, it costs you 2 health. Well, that's true, but it doesn't really matter so much in Zoo. Usually you don't care if you take 2 damage. The real downside to life tapping is mana. You have to spend 2 mana, which means you're 2 mana behind in tempo, and you don't get to contest the board quite as quickly or efficiently. And that's what Zoo loves to do. So as powerful as life tapping is, if you can mitigate the need to life tap at all, just remove that need by having card draw that doesn't punish you, and Malchezaar's Imp really doesn't punish you in any way, it's still just a good 1 mana minion, then that makes you more efficient with not needing to life tap quite as often and getting more stuff out faster. So doing what Zoo likes to do, which is pretty cool. And then Silverware Golem, we never had to play it as a 3-drop, right? That's the biggest risk with this card is like, well, I guess we did maybe one time, but we didn't usually have to. We usually got it off of the discard, which is what you want to see. The biggest risk with this card is having to spend 3 mana on a pretty unexciting 3/3, because compared to your other 3 mana cards, they're both sick. They both do crazy stuff, and Silverware Golem doesn't do that. So if you had to spend 3 mana on it, you'd be pretty sad, but when you play it for free, that's pretty sick. So thankfully, the deck consistently seems to get Silverware Golem onto the board without requiring you to play it, which is, of course, all of the upside. The one card I wasn't that thrilled about was Darkshire Librarian. It seemed okay. We drew cards. It actually probably caused me to misplay once, but it just felt a little more awkward in the hand, and I don't know that it ever triggered our discard stuff, but it may have. I guess it did trigger the Malchezaar's Imp that one time. So maybe not bad. I need to play with this one more. It doesn't feel like it's super strong, but does seem to fit. So I trust Sjow more than I trust myself. So I would definitely keep it in there if you're thinking about running this list. And I would encourage you to run this list. It seems really good. Couple improvements to Zoo, which is a hard thing to do. So good on Blizzard for finally perhaps nailing the discard mechanic and making it fit into a prominent and popular deck that a lot of people have, so it's sort of a budget deck in a way, just because by now, if you've been playing Hearthstone for a while, you probably have these cards because you've probably played Sjow. So this is a fun new way to do it. Breathing some fresh air into an old deck. So all that said, that's going to do it for me in the Discard Sjow by Sjow. If you have any thoughts or comments, which I always appreciate, I read them all. You know where to leave them. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, game on.